Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
The Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content. Tune in and subscribe to Comic Talk with Pops Van Zant on YouTube.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Silverline Silver Sunday. This Sunday, January the 22nd. I don't believe January is almost over already.
It is very close. And Roland, you owe me $5.
Why? Oh, because Haley showed up?
Oh,
That going?
Yeah. Hey, Haley, good to see you.
Hey,
You didn't just wake up, did you?
to me?
Yeah.
No.
How you doing, Pete? Good to see you.
hi.
Pete did just wake up, though.
I know Pete did just wake up.
Literally 10 minutes ago.
You need to go change a diaper real quick or anything like that?
I'm sure I'll hear the screams.
Okay.
So Pete wakes up and throws on the royal robe.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
set this
and how you,
one.
Tommy?
I'm all right. I'm wore out, but I'm all right.
All right. Already got a look at this. Already got a solid opinion here. Vic says AI art is trash, and that takes away opportunities for real artists. Wow. We're gonna talk about that. And then he says, I'll never get this word. Bonus Sarah, Silverliners.
God, I still don't know what that
and
means.
then he
Maybe
says,
one day.
4 hours to go, and I want that director commentary on Divinity.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So that reminds me. I'm going to pop this up here. Look at this. We have 80. No. We got 3 hours to go.
$50.
Yep. 39.51. So we are $49 away from the. Wait a minute, Pete. Hold on. I'll give you.
Oh, it's fine. Whatever. Kickstarter, whatever.
Yeah. So so we got 3 hours left to go. We got 83 backers. We got 39.51. We are $49 away from the stretch goal, as Vic pointed out, getting the director commentary by Barb.
But you didn't say that. It's $249 away for us doing a drunken telling of the Trump story.
It is, yeah. It's two. Let's see where. Let me find those. The stretch goals there.
Oh no! There was another stretch goal in the middle there, but I think maybe we can swap them around. We could do both if you can hit that next one. $200, $250, $300.
So at 37.50, which is what we got the 37.50. We had bookmarks. 4,000 is the next one. We're $49 away, and that is the audio commentary from on Divinity from Barb. And then 4250 is the back and board size prints, and then we had 4,500 was the audio video commentary from the three of us.
But if we could get that next goal, the third goal, in 3 hours, let's do it anyway.
Okay. All right. So you hear it here. You guys hear it. You heard Tommy and me, and Pete's in. Pete's like,
he's always rated the Drake, so he's in.
He's British, right?
I'll send him a gift card, and he can go pick up some beer or something.
So, all right. So if we can hit 4,200, if we can hit 4,250. We'll get the backing boards, the not backing boards, but the backing board sides prints, and the video audio commentary from me, Pete, and Tommy.
Yeah, because I wanted to do that. That'd be fun.
All right, Pete, what were you holding up?
Oh, it's one of my old comics.
Oh, an old Batman and Robin.
What
that
comic
Neil
this
Adams?
is. Yeah.
That is Neil Adams. You got it signed by Neil Adams too.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, years ago.
Wow, nice. That was
the
great shape.
First appearance of Ra's al Ghul, or how you pronounce his name.
That's in great shape.
Wow, it's all
right. So let's see here. Pop says, "Hey yo, Roland, what's up, Pops?
Mr. Pops.
See you." So yeah, there's the Kickstarter. Go back to Kickstarter if you haven't already. Remember that it does close out here in 9 hours or 3 hours. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that is supposed to. Yeah,
usually they coincide with the end of the Sunday show.
Yeah. And I set this one a little bit different this time. This one closes at 11:59. Wow. So it's the last minute of the day. So instead of closing on our show, I thought we'd try it at the end of the day. We started it on a different day. I did all kind of reading over the break about the Kickstarter strategies and best days to launch and best days to end and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
Pop says, "Hey, Thomas and Peter too."
And Haley.
And then, he said H. Lee. But then just to
he sure did.
So yeah. So if you are watching us, you're not watching us on the Silverline Comics Facebook today. you are watching us on any of the other places, and we appreciate that. We have been, and we don't know why, we have been put in timeout on Facebook, and we can't.
Because of
There's
all the
there's
foul
no
language.
there's no explicable reason as to why we can't get. We have pushed all the buttons that Facebook will let you do. So BJ is in timeout for I think she said another 8 hours. I'm restricted for another 2 days, it says, and we have no idea what happened. We have our suspicions, but we don't know what happened because there's nothing that will take you on a pathway to find out where and what we did wrong. I was telling Haley before we started, I don't know how to correct my behavior if you don't tell me what behavior is wrong.
Or to fix whatever it is.
Yeah. So for those of you on Facebook, you're watching us through the madness, and we thank you for that. Let's see here. Pop said, wait, hold on. My fingers do not always agree with what I'm trying to type. And I was getting to the Pop, and yet you're live on the madness on Facebook. Yeah. So I wasn't going to forget it. Vic says, I'm excited to have 7 books coming my way, and we are excited to put those books in your hands, Vic. I think this is Vic's, correct me if I'm wrong, Vic, but won't this be the first books that are actually going to arrive in your hand? Oh, it is what I get for going with Spectrum. I know. Don't get me started on Spectrum. For those of you who don't know, the backers of the
007 bad guy. Right?
I haven't had internet most of this week.
Oh, I haven't heard.
Oh. Yeah, because I haven't been on internet, because I haven't been on. Yeah. So Vic, I think this is the first actual books that you're getting in your hands. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Well,
so tonight we're going to be talking about AI art. That's been kind of a big thing popping up. We need to get them as our sponsor, Tommy. Yeah. You took a big drink. I'm like, look, he's got the labels facing front and everything.
There we go. You got to drink it like you're in a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do
Not
I turn
drink,
it?
you mean?
I'm gonna spill it all over me trying to do. There we go.
Wait. How did I get you up there? Yeah, right. Vic says, first time I've been able to back. Vic, we are very appreciative that you spend your hard-earned money on our Kickstarter. We very appreciative of that. Hopefully, hopefully you will love them and figure out a way to get more. We are talking about AI art, and Vic's already. We started at the top of the show. Vic's already voiced.
He said no.
Opinion. I may try to play. I have opinions too, but I'm going to ask you all guys first. And since I'm the lone non-artist, and I know there's the argument that writers are artists too. I get that, but I'm talking about.
Who told you that?
You've got.
Who's giving Roman ideas?
What did he say? I missed it.
He said, "Who told you that?"
Oh, have you not seen the thing that writes the stories and scripts and all that kind of stuff? No, that is crazy. We ought to do an experiment with that and show people how you can write your own story with that.
We may have to. I'm thinking about. We've been talking about it
because I think that's even more of a valid point to be mad than this art.
Well, we may do a whole nother thing on a whole nother segment on AI writing, because that and this will actually give me a little bit of time, because we're actually talking about this kind of thing where I work, because as many of you know, I teach creative writing, and that's been one of the struggles that we've had, is that, how do we find out if so you, some of you know this already and some of you don't. Generally, it's pretty clear when you're and I would assume art's the same way, but when you're trained at words, when you read somebody's words, it's pretty clear just in a paragraph or two that they know how to handle the language or they don't. Okay. And everybody makes typos. It's not about making a typo. It's about handling the language. Okay. And we won't go off on Pete's tangent of, well, none of you Americans can handle language anyway.
Oh, my word.
But it's usually pretty clear. So when you have a student whose work is one way and you see that, okay, well, they can't handle language, but then they submit something and you're like, wait,
wow.
it's really clear.
Something?
And you can say, okay, you didn't write this. Now, I don't know who did, but you didn't write this. And we have those things come up, believe it or not. We have those things come up. Yeah, in what we do. So that's my boss's son, who's in college. I think he's still in college. Used an AI text generator to write a letter of application for him. She couldn't tell. He asked her. He showed it to her. He goes, "Hey, Mom, what do you think about this letter for?" And she's like, she read it through. She goes, "This is great." Yeah, an AI generator did that. She's like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
So it's something that's going. We've been telling them, the instructors have been telling them about that, this kind of thing, that there's a problem, and what do we do as instructors? Is it plagiarism? What is it? Anyway, that's a whole nother. So we might do that whole discussion. But tonight we're going to talk about art. Okay. Specifically, let's see. Here we go. Roland, you're going to play devil's. Yeah, I think I am going to play devil's advocate. Again, I have opinions, but I think I might play devil's advocate, depending on what these guys say. If you can't draw and you swipe a panel, you can tell the same way. Yeah, the swipe, for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, the swipe is that you look at something and you're like, you just copy it. You don't trace it, but you draw the exact same thing with maybe different characters and that kind of thing. Now, a lot of artists will do homage covers, and the difference between an homage and a swipe, and you guys correct me if you think I'm saying this wrong, is an homage is that you clearly identify, hey, I am copying the layout and design of the original image after this person. We have done our share of homage covers. I don't have one in my hands, but Stephen Butler, our good friend, Tommy Mine's good friend, this is something that Stephen has done quite a bit of, and he did some for us. But he always says after, he'll sign his name, and then he'll say after whoever the original artist was. A swipe is you just draw it. You don't. Whoa, Haley's having an earthquake.
My camera fell. I'm trying to find a cover that I know I colored.
Okay, yeah. All right, so AI. What do you guys start it off? Kick it off.
Well, it's bullshit. Isn't it? Is that going to get us banned?
That's why you got us kicked off on Facebook.
That's what it is. Say what it is. It's not art.
Yeah. Let's see here. Pop said, "Ouch! She dropped me on my head." Yeah. Okay. So why specifically, Pete? What makes
it's not art, is it? You're not doing anything creative. You're just typing in some words to try and swipe someone else's style on art and going, "Oh, look, you didn't create anything. You're not an artist. You just typed some words."
That was like an homage, right?
Yes, that's no prize for whoever can be the first to say in our chat what cover that is.
I thought I was going to win a no prize.
No, not you, Tommy. A no prize for whoever knows that the original image of that. One of my favorite covers, by the way.
It's a cool cover.
It is a very.
I mean, not just because I inked it; it was a cool cover.
Yeah. So Pete says it's because it's not art. You just type stuff in.
People who do AI art, they're not doing it because they love doing art. They love it because they want to get famous and they want to get noticed and recognized. They want to do no effort to get what they get the result. They just want to say, "Oh, look what I created! Look what I created." You didn't create anything. You just want people to say, "Oh, you're amazing."
Yeah.
It's a lot of rubbish.
So for clarification's sake, because a lot of people I would say would know what AI art is, but they don't know how it's generated. For instance, I'll be honest with you, I am not 100% clear how AI art is generated. So somebody walk us through the process.
No, well, it's kind of hard to do because there's 20, 30 different AI generators out there for the art stuff, and some of them actually go out and just scrub the internet for you. You could say like redheaded African American girl with pointy ears and 3 eyes. I don't know. You can type it. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And it's going to go out and scrub, all these different places. And some of them will actually go try to find some stuff. And then it's kind of being that I'm a computer guy, it's kind of neat to me.
Yeah.
So,
well, okay. So being as your computer guy, don't you find it fascinating that that AI can actually generate artwork that looks decent?
It's some of the in that same query, because you're typing in, it's a query of what you're typing in. You could say, and make the redheaded girl look like Haley, and it will go try to find pictures if it can find you, and then it'll look like you. It's crazy what these things.
And I know people can say, and I don't know like how
certain ones
famous
can do.
artists have to be. You could say like in the style of so and so.
In the style, or make it look like
their art then, because it would probably search the internet for that.
Yeah, you could say make it manga style or make it super cartoony. You could write that in there, and you put in hell. You can write all kind of things, and you just get all this crazy stuff that these things can come up with.
Well, all right. So I guess my question. So it sounds like it's sampling. Does anybody remember sampling in music?
Well, there's AI systems that do music.
Okay.
But there are bans on what records and what music they can sample, because otherwise it's just theft. But they don't do that on the art.
So why is it different?
There should be bans on what they can sample. It should be saying you can't sample anything from these websites or these people,
or anything that's not public domain.
Yeah.
What about the folks that are doing it and then going back into Photoshop or whatever it is, and they start they doctor it up, if for lack of a better word, make it their own. Would that be okay?
No.
Once they get like the base of something? No, I knew you would say no. I was just
make it, if you want to be art, art's not just an end product saying, look, I made something. My comic page doesn't just appear. I have to do loads of work.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really enjoyable. Sometimes it drives you a bit mad.
Unless especially if you have fire engines,
I've created this. You haven't created anything. You've changed someone else's artwork. You just changed the computer's artwork this time. That's like me taking Tommy's artwork and changing it and saying, look what I've done.
Right.
You haven't done anything.
Yeah. Who was the artist? There was a really popular pop culture artist that did a lot of that. What's his name? It looked like a lot of the 50s stuff. What was his? Can y'all help me out? Y'all can't remember who I'm talking about? It was really, really popular amongst literary art crowds. Not amongst us, but it had a lot. You could see a lot of the dots. From the 50s.
The pointillism stuff.
Wasn't Liechtenstein, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what Rob just says. Liechtenstein.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah. And all he did was take for fans is Andy Warhol. No, not him. All he did was take a piece of art and then make it look like it had been printed in the traditional method and blown up so that you could see all of the CMYK dots. Right. And it would make really big images from something small, and they would hang that in these big art galleries in New York. And, and it was hailed as a fantastic artist. Man, there's several comments here. Vic says AI art just sucks 3 legs and 1.5 eyes.
I know, because you tell it to draw. Sometimes it'll put like 6 fingers on one hand or it won't have a left arm, and it's really weird.
Jack Kirby put 2 left hands on it one time, right?
Yeah, he did.
And he's the king.
But
for those of you who don't know, look up Jack Kirby 2 left hands. I think it's Fantastic Four.
Well, that makes me feel better by the time I did that. Someone emailed me. I like posted the page to my website, and then someone emailed me and was like, "She has 2 left hands." And I was
Can you
like, "Oh
fix
my
that,
gosh."
please?
No
And
one
what they
ever
don't-
emailed me like about my just random readers.
yeah,
Like, I didn't
unless
know
you
the
get it
difference.
wrong,
I'm like,
right?
thank you, because now I can go change it before like
All right,
it's
well,
up
well,
there
here's
for
here's another thing. So, because with that company, the other company that I work for, I mean that I know of, kablam. we get we've been getting several books that that we know that are completely computer AI kind of stuff. And right now, I mean, if you type in that same query, the redheaded girl with 3 eyes and no left arm or whatever, every time you press it, it'll give you a different picture every time. So trying to get a sequential story out of these generators is not there yet. So or at least like, what I've seen. And then I know some folks that are, I got some friends that are using them and stuff. And they're really cool for cover. I think cover artists, not comic book cover artists, but cover artists like.
So what's the difference? We're talking comic books, but why is that different? Why is that any different?
Any different? I'm not saying it's any different. I'm just saying to actually use those things to make a issue of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's not there yet. But to come up with an issue of a romance cover. You could just say, make Fabio looking guy with riding a red horse and stuff, and it'll come up with some crazy stuff, and you can hit about 20 times until you find one that you like and go, that's the one I want. And then, that's nuts. But
I think my question would be, because you said you could it's kind of neat thinking about for book covers. What's the difference? Are you trying to say, maybe I should ask the question, are you trying to say it's okay to use?
No.
If you're gonna, okay.
No.
Because what if someone could just say like it's not quite there yet to like make a whole comic out of it because it looks kind of wonky and you won't get the same like character looking the same way twice.
No,
but
you won't even get this. Like, even if you tell it that you want to have it draw in a certain style, every one I've seen so far, if you just say make it look like Pete's style. Say say Pete had a style. He doesn't, but say he did. It yeah, you could hit it 15 times saying, make it look like Pete's stuff, and every one will be something.
Okay, so it's not like I can just take the page by page plot that I send to Pete and input that into the generator and it draws a comic book.
I've seen people try.
Maybe even a script. Let's say I actually write a script. Could I take a traditional comic book script? Yeah. Oh, that would
maybe
be a test. Get AI, AI text.
No, I was gonna say that if you go to you were saying that you wanted to talk about it some other time, but I think the writing of the stories is more something to worry about really than because the chat GPT is the one that I've been.
That's the one we've been talking about at work.
You can go in there and say, draw 3 brothers, one's taller than the other 2, and they both have red hair. I keep red hair. I don't know why. I'm just making up some crap. And then say, give me 3 plot stories where their mom has passed away and their dad got killed. Something blah blah blah, and it comes up with some amazing stuff, and you're like, wow, this is insane. This is so insane. Yeah. These are complete little stories that you could actually.
I know, it's crazy. That's the exact same one that wrote that the letter that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah. And then I'm just saying for writing a script, but you could say, for and I know that YouTube people are using it all the time when they're trying to come up with stuff to do for their weekly shows. They go, give me 5 ideas about going to Disney on a budget where I'm bringing my 3-year-old and my handicapped mom, and it will come up with all. I'm just giving you crap because you can type that in and it will give you really good stuff, and you can type in people's names, and sometimes if it's somebody that's like if you wanted to say 3 things that Biden did this week that's really funny, it will come up with, it'll look and come up with 3 funny Biden or made up Biden things. You can tell,
right.
He doesn't.
Right, yeah.
But it'll come up with some silly stuff that could be plausible. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Let me run through some of these comments. We got a whole bunch of them here. Let's see. Vic does say it scans the internet and steals everyone's stuff. It's scummy. Pop says it can't though unless it's fed actual art first. So it's kind of what we were saying. It has to have the artwork in order to kind of reproduce it. And then where does that actual art come from? Yeah, so it would be basically, and that's kind of what I was kind of suggesting earlier, kind of sampling, right? It goes out and gets the internet and then kind of
understanding.
samples.
It's not actually drawing anything. It's,
right. And then Pop said, I have seen people trolling artists with AI representations of their own art. It's sad. That is sad. That's horrible. Vic says, it's still just cribbing everyone else's stuff. Put in work if you want the art, either learn or pay someone. And then we got the names, Liechtenstein here. Fan says it's hilarious that even AI has trouble with hands. Yeah, that's right.
Because it's sampling for other artists who struggle with hands. It's like, well, that's what a hand looks like.
It will mess up some hands so bad. It's so funny.
So what I was thinking about before is so Tommy, you were saying like it's not really good enough yet to make,
but it will
make it yeah. But I was thinking like if an amateur artist comes in and is like, hey, here's the foundation, I'll just tweak it a little bit to look like what I want. So then it's like partially they could claim that it's partially their art, but it's still, they're basically tracing over other people's stuff. Like maybe not tracing, but like it still had elements. So I could see like that could be a problem where it's like, okay, they edited it enough that it's not like just straight from the AI, but then it's still like,
use it for like elements. If you're having a trouble drawing a bar scene, you could say, give me a bar scene where there's a redheaded person. I can start with a redheaded bartender and it'll come up with something you can go, hey, I like that bar scene, and then maybe give you an idea to go from.
So I get
then somebody else had to have drawn it, right?
And don't we kind of encourage that for artists when they're first learning? We kind of encourage, hey, just find some John Byrne work you like and trace that. And then
or go to a bar, take some pictures of some people sitting at the bar, and then go home and figure out.
Yeah. I mean, I used to know, I don't know so many anymore, but I used to know a handful of artists that worked from photographs. They would, I want to say, I think Dean still does. I think Dean takes
because
a photo shoot.
Especially
there has to be elements of realism in comics, otherwise it just doesn't work. And no offense, I haven't been everywhere and seen everything in the world, so if I don't know what something looks like, or
you haven't been to New Orleans, have you?
I've never been to New Orleans, but I know it so well now.
And we can tell from your
Google Images has shown me the same building 1,000 times.
But part of your job as an artist, right? Would you agree with this?
Yeah, of course, I've got to make it look like that. And if I've not been there,
you got to make it look believably like New Orleans.
But I'm not necessarily just taking a photo and tracing it. I'm saying, right, okay, I know what these buildings look like, so I can render 30 different panels with buildings in the background that hopefully would
look like it could be New Orleans.
Square buildings, yeah.
Well,
it's not Minecraft.
Same lots of places. Gotham City doesn't look like anywhere else in the world.
No.
You just have to find Gothic-looking buildings and make it work. Yeah.
My understanding, and I'm guessing that somebody's going to tell us one way or the other, and we've talked about it in the office, and I hear read and watched videos on it and all kind of stuff. It's not creating art from nothing like Pete does, like Haley does, from absolutely nothing. And it's going in sampling stuff and then just piecing it all together that somebody else had already done. It may throw some crazy filters over the top of it to make it look like it's watercolor, because you could say that too. You could say the redheaded girl at the bar, make this look like a watercolor piece from the from the year 3000, and it will come up with something that looks really weird.
Yeah. Let's see. Pop said it's still stolen art. Here's something.
Unless somebody tells us otherwise, I think it is. I'm not.
Infrafan says it's a punishment for talented artists as well. the more of their work that is online, the more data that program has to work with, and that could equal less work for said artist. What do you guys think? Is it kind of like a punishment?
I think there's certainly a risk of companies saying that it's a cheap way of getting the result. I think the problem arises at the moment is when they go back to them and say, actually, can you amend this to this? And
because
they can't do that. They just end up with something completely different. They're like, no, we just want you to change this little bit, not the whole thing.
So most of those programs will remember the query that you punched in. So like if you're like Pete's saying, if the editor says that cover that you made up, can instead of being a blue background, could you make it a windy fire background? And then so you go to that same query and you say, well, I don't want a blue sky now, I want a windy, and it'll be a totally different drawing,
totally different image. So you
might just go Photoshop it and try to change it. But
yeah,
it's not going to be the same drawing with a different background. It's going to be a totally different drawing, but everything will look different.
Pop says, no matter how you look at it, unless they are only feeding their own art into the app, they're stealing content. That's interesting. You can feed your own art. I don't know how you do that.
No, there's some of them you can. So like if, say I had, now here's where we're getting into the deal with the trying to create a comic book. Say I had, like the four of us are in the comic book. Some of those ones I could put in like 50 pictures of you, Haley, all of us,
right?
And then and then
give us red hair,
right? Give you red hair, and then it will render, it'll look like you because it'll have your photograph as part of the thing. So you can say, make a John Byrne rolling, throwing a punch, and it will go see what John Byrne threw a punch, and then kind of put your face over it and cartoon it, and possibly who knows what it'll look like. But you can.
That's. I mean, it's a little bit scary that we're kind of we have the technology to do this kind of thing. Infrafan says, I've got friends who have lost work due to AI art. I'm not aware of any businesses using it yet. I've seen it kind of all over mostly.
It's Twitter, all over the place.
Really?
Yeah. You can look at stuff, and I mean, you don't see all the stuff that people are posting on Facebook and stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, they didn't draw that.
Oh, really?
I don't see where the joy is in doing it.
Well, all right.
After a while, surely you're going to get bored of just typing in words and going, "Oh look."
I would say that maybe some non-artist folks would use it a lot, but I see artist folks that are using it.
So that's where I wanted to play devil's advocate with you guys a little bit. So I had an exchange with somebody on Twitter today that talked about the people who use, if you finish your comic before you crowdfunded, you're wealthy, right? And I'm like, no, that's not true, right? and so because he was like, oh, it cost all this kind of money, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's some of us who don't have the kind of money, but we still believe that this is kind of the way we ought to do things, right? My point was this: is that if you're not wealthy, like none of us are, and you don't
Speak
have
for
any.
yourself.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you've got the Lamborghini ordered.
That's right. It's still on order, back order.
It's still on order.
Extra dollar pledge. That's another wheel.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the $5,000
I hate to
mark.
tell you, we're still at $39.51. So.
Oh man, we got to get some more people.
If we can get to like 50,000, I'll give one lucky backer a ride in my car.
Would you give them a flight to London as well?
No.
If you can make your way to London, you can
ride in Pete's
you can ride around in Pete's car.
Right.
One ride, and it's only if you pay for the petrol.
No return journeys.
So what if you got a writer who just got this story, has to tell, has no money, low income family, right? But it really wants to do this comic book story, and doesn't know anybody, doesn't have any contacts, right? Doesn't not in all the 50 different artist groups on Facebook. What would be the problem of this person entering into the AI and generating a comic based on the story that this person has come up with.
No,
I've seen some of the books so far, and they're
just type into Twitter. Look, I'm looking for an artist. Payment on, backing of Kickstarter.
Yeah,
you'll get flooded with people because it's everyone wants to do it,
I
and you'll get
believe
flooded
that.
with AI people too. So you just have to pick them out.
I believe that also. I think I'm getting AI. I actually think that I am getting AI friend requests on Twitter now. I think it's Twitter. No, not Twitter. On Instagram. Because
I haven't seen a whole lot of really comic book art. I've seen like coloring type stuff, but as far as like pen ink, comic book coloring.
Tommy, could you submit an inked page that you did and say AI color this like a comic book?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing a while ago like there was a program that could do flats for you.
Really?
Yeah,
but I don't. Yeah, and then I think it would just be random colors, and then you could go in and like make.
Which is what a lot of colors want anyway, right?
Yeah, some of the color folks that I know, they don't want the people doing flats to actually use colors that are the color of whatever it is.
So maybe I don't know if that would take jobs away from people, but I mean that's not the whole process of coloring. It makes it quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would that be unethical?
I don't know.
I mean, if we're kind of talking about, we haven't said it. None of us said that, but I get our general consensus as AI art is a little bit unethical. So would doing something like that be unethical as well?
Yes, you're still taking jobs away from people. There are people's jobs out there that are too flat. AI art shouldn't be for taking away all the creativity. AI people all the boring stuff like running.
Yeah, but
you don't
we have AI building cars,
and you do it to save time.
Yeah, we got AI building cars. We got AI making food. We got AI doing everything. So is it all?
Did y'all see that there is a fully
AI driving cars?
Automated. There is a McDonald's somewhere up in the Northeast that doesn't have a single human employee.
Oh.
It's all fully automated. From you place the order, they cook it, and an automatic hand delivers it out the window to you.
Well, there you go.
Fully automated. Somewhere in the New England area. I'm not sure. All right, some more of these comments here. Pop said AI doesn't have a soul or different angles. That said, I hope you all read the new Lion Silver comics coming.
The new
I love that. That's it. And for fans, AI generated. Read the new Silverline comics. Pop, I wouldn't promote an AI writer either. Okay, so this is when we're talking about that.
Yeah, that's harder to see though. That is hard to see. Yeah.
I did read that companies are now setting up departments to filter out AI art submissions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're going to get submissions they have to filter out. They don't use it.
Here's my question. I think all of you guys could probably find it.
I'm gonna look.
But if you are an untrained art, if you have an untrained art eye, except for the obvious, the nose is on the side of where the cheek should be. What are some of the things that someone with an untrained art eye would look for to spot AI art? If you're
with a comic book.
What's that?
And with dealing specifically with comics.
Yeah, I would say. Well, yeah, I would say.
See, so far they don't look like comics. So far, everything I've seen, I've done AI created comic art, and I'm just going into Google and typing.
Every panel will look.
Everything is
like
paintery.
Different artist has done it and different renderings.
Yeah, it's fine. It's more paintery looking.
Okay.
There's one that's line art, but I don't know if it's a.
Well, I was going to ask you, could you not ask the AI to pencil?
It doesn't look right yet. Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's coming.
Not yet.
It's coming really quick.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But here, okay, I want to switch this around a little bit. What about for the past 10, 15 years where people were using Poser to do their comics and stuff? Now that's generating the same kind of art as these AI drawings are doing in their Poser. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. but they're moving all the figures around and stuff, so they're actually doing something.
I think there's a difference
you're
there.
getting
If you're using that for, I can't quite figure this out. I need to know how the body bends here. I haven't got a large model in front of me, and then you.
But that would be.
And then just taking it and tracing over and going, no, I've done it.
But that's you because you actually draw your stuff. Being the fact that I know a company that prints comic books, we get a lot of poser. We get a lot of poser books. Yeah, and they're just.
Is it like they just use 3D models and that's full art?
And then you can do ray tracing, or not ray tracing. Now, what is it called? It's a comic tracing technique where it makes it. You can even do it so it looks kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's a poser book.
My comics aren't photorealistic, and I don't think they should be.
Right,
they're exaggerated, right?
Yeah.
So whilst I try to get my anatomy right because I need to look like people, I still try to make it look really exaggerated and dynamic when necessary.
Right.
That app can't do that. It's just a body.
Not so much unless you get somebody to design a 3D model. That's all.
Yeah.
I've never been one that likes photo comic books because
I don't either.
It's just pictures taken about people, and my thoughts have always been, if I wanted to see pictures, I would go out and buy People magazine.
Watch a movie.
Yeah, or watch a movie. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see art. I love looking at art. I am an art fan. I love to see the art, and I love to see all the different styles, right?
Any of you folks that are watching tonight, do you red card? Post on there if anybody has seen any AI generated comic book art that looks like, say, what Peter's got in the background back there, that looks like a pencil ink drawing of something, because I have really
I've only seen like the finished painterly.
It's always painterly,
painterly stuff, yeah.
It's
those,
your romance novel covers,
designs and background designs for computer games and stuff.
Yes,
and their art's incredible. But then it's like taking 6 of those and sticking them on a page.
Right.
It's like, it's not a comic book page. Doesn't flow. It's just 6 images stuck together.
I mean, me, Roland, and I both know some people that are doing it.
Stopping by and chatting with us, man. Jim says, because the art used from AI was taken from unlicensed sources for its fan base. Now, okay, hold on. Now,
see, that's not necessarily true, though.
Now, if the AI was generated if the AI generated was used legally obtained images, I think that's another tool. So if your AI,
some of them are,
so if your AI takes only images that have been legally obtained from the AI,
so you put that in the thing.
Are we still
in the query? You say legal art or legal.
Well, I mean,
DeviantArt, Art Station, they've done a thing that they basically, you tick a box now to say no AI art, and it can't be sampled.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I've even seen AI art generated images where it's now. Do you ever seen those no AI symbol, the red circle, the
Like one day everybody was posting on Instagram.
It's covered and with all these no AIs because that's what people kept posting on their pages. So it's sampling that as well, along with all their images. And people, they've ruined my artwork. It's not your artwork.
Yeah.
Right.
And then even if you post something to ArtStation and check a box that says, like, is that what you're saying? You check a box, say, I don't want this used in AI. Like, how do you know the AI program's going to honor that?
Oh, I don't know how they've worked it. Yeah, I don't know how. I know you check a box.
They're going to have to like come up. There's going to be new legal stuff all around this.
Well, and then who's going to police that, right? Oh, this is really funny. I got to put this one. Rob says, probably gets a McDonald's order right, unlike the people that work at the one near me. I have to second that one. The McDonald's near me can never get the order right.
So maybe this is a way for us to get the right food that we order?
Well, yeah. Let's see here.
I'm trying to find a AI art thing, and I was just going to type a specific something and see if it'll actually go steal the actual piece of art and just give it back to me.
So Jim adds, we're talking about the poser. It says no, because the images for poser models were not used with illegally created art. So he's saying that because all the content in Poser is legally owned by Poser.
Yeah, because you had to buy them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I was more referring to the finished look.
And I've seen some of them. I don't like them personally because they look stiff.
They look
posed.
I've seen some halfway decent ones, but they're still.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Not my thing.
Because I think one of the things that Pete added
as far as comic book anyway.
Yeah, you don't want it to look so you expect them to look comic booky, right? You want them to be exaggerated. You want all the it's a comic book. It's supposed to be that way. And I don't think AI at this point in time is able to do that.
No, because it's not actually coming up with you look like somebody.
Yeah, no. I see Jim popped over to YouTube because I guess because I'm sorry, Jim. I was slow at getting to the comments because we got so wrapped up here. I was slow to get it. I suspect he thought I wasn't seeing them on Facebook, and I was.
Oh.
And I'm just slow at getting to all of it. You guys were really active on the chat tonight, so.
Thank you, people.
Yeah, so I apologize for not getting all those in there.
It's a topic people feel passionately about.
They do.
It is. Yeah,
for sure.
and I agree. I think
because we're all going, this is kind of cool, and you're like, oh, but it's so cringy,
right.
bad. Yeah,
yeah, but it shouldn't be cool. Yeah.
No.
Well, I think for me, I think the thing is, I'm impressed that.
Yeah, maybe that's
I'm
the word. It's kind of
computer
impressive how bad this is becoming. Yeah,
I remember seeing some of the very first AI generated art, and it was laughable.
Mm-hmm.
But now
it was a joke, and now it's like, wait a minute.
I know,
like that.
I don't feel
it's learning, and it will continue to learn and get better.
It's like Data from Star Trek. It's going to take over.
No. It's Terminator. What was the what was the
Skynet.
She warned us, right? Skynet. Yeah, Skynet.
No, we're all going to die.
Bob says there is one completed book, but I won't link it or promote it.
That looks like a comic, though.
Send it to me in a private.
Not a
chat,
painter,
Pops.
not a paintery book, but an actual pencil line art book.
Yeah. Let's see here. Vic says I've tried Posers to see what people were raving about. It's more trouble than it's worth, but it's technically better than AI art in my opinion. Okay. And then Jim says that's true for most AI current engines. So Vic says, so I can steal from public domain comics when I need art. It's legal, but it's objectively wrong.
That's a good point.
Probably.
So the fact that you use the word steal in that sentence.
Yeah. You already know you did something wrong.
Yeah.
You did something naughty.
Let's see here. Pop said no fast food ever gets my order right. You know, there's only one that gets my order right 99% of the time, and they're not open on Sundays. Yep, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
They consistently get our order right. Of course, there's 50 billion of them working there. I don't know how they pay all those people. Let's see.
My Chick-fil-A still hasn't opened yet, or you can't go inside to eat.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
They still haven't opened the
They just don't want you
back.
inside.
No, actually, it took a while to do that because I think they were making so much on the drive-through. But
you're exactly right, Haley. I was going to say the same thing.
Been
Why
open
would
for
they
a while,
want?
but it was like
why
everything else was open. We're like, why are they still closed?
Right? Yeah. They added like 15 lanes across now, and then so why would you want? They don't want you to come in.
It's like a Wawa now. Oh, here we go. What? We got someone joining us.
Rob Davis.
Yeah, he's still connecting here. As soon as he gets connected, there he is.
No,
Hey, I know he's
got
going to say something.
I've got a little thing on my my camera that I push over, so
to hide you,
so somebody
so
can't
the government
hack me and see
spy on
what
you.
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Just
So-
hiding all the
What are you
AI
doing that
computer
you- that
systems
you're
is got in
worried
the
about
background
people-
running.
That's right.
Yeah.
We won't talk about
hold
that.
on. Let me get the logo off of Haley's head here.
Yeah, there you go.
Silverline. There we go. So Rob, have you heard most of what we've kind of been chatting about?
No, I just
that's
I just
fine.
got on a message and saw that you were looking for somebody, and I have opinions about everything. So
Well, we have been having a very lively discussion, and our chat has been incredibly lively with opinions as well.
good.
As Pete said earlier, folks are passionate about it. So so give us your 2 cents. AI art, is it theft? Is it what is it?
Oh, I thought we were talking about ice cream still.
Are there ways that you can use it and be
Vanilla
okay?
with caramel.
Yummy.
Vic says, I'm
Sorry,
passionate about not getting screwed,
Well,
and then here, is there a difference between an AI SWAT collage and Jack Kirby's collage FF pages?
there we go. There's the question. Is it
Yes, there
Is
is,
it
because
like
he's
collage?
chosen.
At least
He's-
somebody's
he's-
drawing it.
Yeah.
Is it like collage, and or is it something bigger? Because that's where you get into the problems with copyright. Does it fall within fair use, or is it outside fair use? I think there need to be some more discussions on where
Well,
it falls.
so
Personally,
what-
I think it's just another tool, just like a computer's a tool.
Okay.
But
So
I can see the other side too. I can see how.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Because one of the things that Jim Riley has pointed out is that that if you can get your AI to only sample art that has been legally obtained by the AI generator, meaning that it doesn't just go out and randomly sample art illegally, right?
Right.
Would using that artwork be okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, you're gonna be
So-
fighting with Mr. Peter.
Yeah. Let me move you, Tommy. Here
Yes.
we go.
Yeah, there you go. Put them side by side.
All right. So all right. So Pete is of the opinion no.
Well, let me
Okay,
make
yeah.
sure you say it all together. So, using it for reference, or actually using the rendered piece that the computer brings back. What are you saying, Rob? Is it actually you type in a query of something and it comes back with something, and you go, "I'm just going to use it, print it," or are you talking about using that as an idea for you to draw something from?
Well, that's what I would do with it.
That's what you would do with it.
That's
But
what I personally would
a
do with
lot.
it. Yeah.
Most people, a lot. No, I can't say most people. That's
Okay. If it's
a lot of
something-
people are
if
just
it's
taking it
something
and
that-
running with it.
Yeah, if it's something that someone has allowed to become public domain,
Mhm.
anybody can use it.
That's true.
Right. Yeah.
You know, if it's out there in the public domain, it can be used. So
That's why it's such
in
a.
that
it's
case,
such a
in that case, you can
cringy
also
thing.
take this and this that are both public domain, put them together, and make something quote unquote
Yeah,
new
make your
out
own
of it.
thing.
And
What-
that's
what's that,
also
Pete?
that's
You
also
make your own thing. You shouldn't be just taking somebody else's stuff and going, right, there you are. Unless you're, licensed by, I don't know, Star Wars. We need this to look like this.
Turn
Uh-huh.
your
Okay,
camera a
well,
little bit,
fine.
Pete. We can only see like your ear.
Oh,
Well,
sorry.
This is what
But
we,
see,
we can see this,
Oh,
Pete.
yeah, there you go. That's much better. But the thing is,
these-
if it's in the public domain and somebody's allowed it to be licensed like that, then it's fair game.
But there are people that are taking these renders that are coming back are like, if you were to say draw Mark Hamill or said Star Wars, with devil horns or whatever. It's taking his face that somebody else, or sometimes it's actually taking photographs off the internet, and somebody must have said something, was rolling this.
No. Somebody sent me a link, and I went to look at this, and I was like, "Holy mackerel! This looks really good."
Oh, see, that's the scary part. It's getting better and better. But yeah, people.
Oh my
I mean, there's
gosh.
drawings that are there's things that are coming back that are the actual drawings of that somebody else drew, and it's magically sticking devil horns on top
And
of
that
it.
gets
and
back
they're
to
on-
the whole problem with the internet, because
Yeah.
when you Google something, a lot of times people are going to swipe it.
Yeah.
Sure
They're
are.
going to swipe it and use it, whether you've given license to. But as soon as you put something up on the internet, or somebody else puts your stuff up, that's a whole nother can of worms there. Somebody else has scanned it or somehow copied what you have and put it up on the internet. That's a whole other deal. That's theft. But if you've put it up there, depending on where you put it, you better read the fine print of the thing that you say. It said accept when you signed on for that thing, because they will have the rights to do whatever with what you put up. So you got to look that stuff over. And if you've signed that, I mean, if you get a good lawyer and go to court with it, you can probably get something done about it.
Yeah, but you got to have money
Also,
to do that.
it's like a Pandora's box. Once
Mhm.
it's out there, and people are going to swipe it. It's going to happen.
Roland, throw the link over in the chat window over
I'm
there.
about to. Let me run through some of these here. I think this is a good thing here that Jim says. He says, I guess where do we want to land when dealing with playground law?
Mhm.
And I think that's one of the things that certainly we have to think about. And we can talk about the whether is it ethical or not. But I do think that the ethics and legality have always been kind of two different things.
Yeah,
Is it legal?
they're
Is it
completely
ethical?
different.
Well, I mean, yeah, those are two different conversations. Jim says those AI engines already exist. Most of the AI community, and I don't know much. I will confess, you guys, I don't know hardly anything about the AI community. I only kind of see what passes my feed every now and then. But he says most of the AI community is not concerned with selling art, but instead training algorithms. And remember, it's not true AI.
Yeah.
They stuck their foot in the mud when they started taking images from the internet. And then, all right, so let me pop this. Let me share this screen here.
Somebody gave you a link of some comic book stuff?
They did, and then I went and looked it up.
Now, see, that's just a paintery thing.
Yeah, it was, and scrolling through it, I mean, all I did was look at the covers, but then in scrolling through it, it looks like a painter, an Alice Ross kind of comic.
Yeah.
Right. It all looks painted. And I'm not going to take away from Alex Ross's ability, but I've never been a fan of painted comics. Right. I like my.
Wow. That's a whole other discussion we're going to have to go into.
Yeah. It is, isn't it?
Well, I just like I prefer my comics to be more traditional line art. Again, I'm not saying I think Alex Ross is very, very good. You're not hearing me right. I don't want my comics to be painted.
Oh.
Go to the indicia part of this. What does it say?
Let me scroll down to the monsters. The monsters get here. All of this is just painted figures of military folks. Here we go. Now we got monsters coming in, right?
Yeah.
Cool looking tank, Godzilla looking kind of monster. I wonder if the AI lettered it too.
Came up with the story.
Is this all AI, or did someone like paint over it, or this is all?
I don't know.
That's why I wanted to see what they said the indicia was.
Yeah.
See, because look, for right now, I don't know how this person has been able to get that. It's
called the Bestiary Chronicles.
Yeah, Bestiary. The Bestiary Chronicles. It looks nice.
Yeah, there is no. Here we go. Here's the indicia. Published by Campfire. Oh my gosh. Copyright by Steve Colson.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
No.
I was wondering what if it gave credit to. Now we got to be careful because this person we don't want this person getting upset.
No, we can certainly talk about it and
how do we know for certain that this was an AI generated book? So we don't know that it is.
Well, right there, Mid-Journey.
Oh,
that's the credit. Mid-Journey. I have heard
Mid-Journey. Yeah, no, Mid-Journey is one of the AI.
Is an AI generator. Yeah.
Colson Mid-Journey. Okay.
Yeah,
and it's one of the better ones too.
Yeah,
it's nice.
So,
so they've now come up with a way that they took a picture of their mom and said, make every time you put this lady in the picture, make it look like these 50 pictures that they uploaded of their mom.
Okay, that's crazy. Out when this was published,
that's why it had some that looked like her every time. Because if you said, older lady, with
how often does he change the panels, or is it all just all shot from the same angle, same level?
No, it was a bunch of crazy
Does he go
stuff.
Up? Does he go worms over? Does
there
he
were
zoom
a few
in?
different
Does he
angles.
zoom out? No.
It was kind of boring though, as far as his camera angles.
Yeah, I agree.
Doesn't make you
I don't see a year on this, so I'm not sure.
Got to be new.
Yeah, I would assume it's new.
I think I've seen it in previews recently. within the
Okay.
last
This-
2-3 months.
This same person, obviously, this is a series, so I see issues 0, 4, 3, 2, 1. I guess that's a whole volume there.
Well, yeah, if it takes you 10 minutes to type something,
Yeah,
in,
that's
you
what I
go-
was gonna say.
wonder-
Obviously,
I wonder how well it sells.
I don't know.
That's
Oh, it's free. They're all free. Oh, that's interesting.
That's how he's getting around it then.
Yeah. Oh, a guide to, then he's got a guide to making AI comics. Okay, anyway. Oh no,
Great.
I upset Pops. Don't promote it.
No,
we're not
no,
promoting
no.
it. We just
Cut that
want
one
to
out,
talk
cut that
about
one.
it. Yeah, and kind of.
But I'm still looking for actual comic art looking books, not painted.
Yeah, something with line art that's like
Yeah.
like traditional comics are.
Right. Yeah, because I have yet to see that. Like I was telling them earlier, Rob, that through Kablam, we've got a bunch of books that have
Ooh,
come
I
through.
love
And
this
I
point.
like
I love this point that Jim makes. Let's talk about this for a second. We might not sit here and dwell on it too long. Jim says, but remember, some artists are outraged, yet they sell prints of unlicensed properties at comic shows. Oh my gosh.
Are we
He
poster
is
pirate?
so
That's why,
right.
you know,
I mean, oh
And
my
that's
gosh.
illegal. And there's
I can't
nothing
tell you
legal
how many
about
shows
that.
we go to, and we see all these poster pirates selling their prints of Spider-Man, of which is illegal. Jim, that is a fantastic point. If I
Well, it's
ever
illegal to sell, and whoever printed it, it's illegal for the person to have printed it. So both, there's all kind of illegal stuff going on right
that
there.
is a great
whilst
point.
yes, that it's not legal, and I sell prints of Spider-Man.
Oh, you're
That's
going
illegal.
to jail.
Yeah, I know it is. Technically,
No,
Technically.
but I've still created that artwork myself.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
No. We're having two different discussions now. One's about legality, and one's about whether the artist is creating the art.
That's true. Yeah, he's talking about
Okay,
compared
all
to
right.
the
Yeah.
I can go with you there. Yeah, legality and morality there, or ethics. Same thing, I guess.
nah, not exactly, but yeah, close enough.
Yeah, I was starting to think about it. It's like, yeah, no, wait a minute, Pete.
Close.
No, you're right. You're
Close,
close,
but not quite
but then
the
you
same.
went off the rail because you're selling this prints that you weren't supposed to do. So now your ethics just went out the window.
Oh, yeah,
Well, see, that's-
I'm there to make money. It's advertising for them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
taking hundreds of thousands of dollars out of their pocket. I'm taking.
If
maybe
you
$5.
were, they would.
yeah,
put a
they're not
stop to you.
selling my artwork.
Right.
Exactly.
That's true.
You know, they're not selling my artwork, so it's
Yeah.
If I draw something that's a character that's quote unquote someone owns, it's still my artwork.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where we start getting into the swamp where we're not sure where we're going. There's no guideposts here.
Well, here we go. Jim says it was playground law with a mouse, of course. Yeah. As long as they're involved in the law, you guys know Mickey Mouse is supposed to be up for public domain. I think next year.
no, this
24.
year.
This year.
This year,
okay.
I thought.
Okay.
Oh,
I
it
thought
could be. It could be next. Sherlock
was
Holmes
24.
is now completely in the public domain.
What is?
All
It's-
Sherlock Holmes stories written by Arthur Conan Doyle are now public domain.
Wow.
Anybody-
But
Anybody
But
can
the
print it
partic-
now.
But the particular trademark that they now have on the look of Mickey is not, and that goes on
Right.
forever. So
That's a
people
different deal.
cannot
Yeah.
people cannot draw Mickey, and now you can draw something that looks like the old, and
Yeah.
You can look like Steamboat Willie. Yeah, you can draw Mickey Mouse looks like the Steamboat Willie era, but you can't
Yeah.
do the modern Mickey
the
Mouse.
modern Mickey. Right.
That's
That's a trademark, and which
that's
is
one of my
something-
teachers at the Cute School discovered. Then they used a character in a story that was public domain, wasn't owned by Disney anymore. They were contacted by Disney lawyers, say, no, you can't use this character. We own it. And they said, no, it's in public domain. He said, no, you can come to court with us if you want.
Yeah, that's
We've
it.
got more
we-
money.
we're
And
telling you
who
now
has
not
the
to
most
use
money?
it.
It doesn't matter.
So
That's
you can
right.
either go
It's
up against a
bullying.
$1 billion industry.
It's
or
bullying
just
is
accept
what
what
it is.
Yeah.
It's bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it
So
works.
It
It
does
doesn't
work
need it to be
because
public domain when they own everything.
yeah,
and they've got the
it
money.
does work because they've got the deep pockets to go to court, and
Yeah.
That's true.
none of us do.
It's Mr. Burns and his army of 10 lawyers walking into a room. It's a-
I don't know that reference.
Yeah,
Simpsons,
Mr. Burns
Ireland, The Simpsons.
From Simpsons.
Mr.
Oh,
Burns.
okay.
Those
I got
10
you.
lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haley, what do you think about it?
Think about what?
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
it's
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
the whole. Well, yeah. Now I'm like, wait, what was the subject again? Just like the.
AI took over her brain.
Haley's watching
Yeah,
YouTube
what
videos.
is
She
field
turned the
there?
volume down.
Haley's reading the free AI generated comic now.
That's right. It's free. I'm gonna go read some free comic books.
Yeah, that was making me uncomfortable. I was like, man, I'm scared. Like, if you can make stuff look
Well,
that good. I mean, I
so
don't know how much the artist like worked with it, but still, I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me part of the issue is the fact that, and of course I wasn't aware that they had the AI that only used the legal artwork. But part of the problem for me has always been the fact that it goes out on the internet and steals from artists who don't give them the okay to do it.
Right. That's wrong.
That's
Period.
wrong. Yeah.
That's period. Wrong. Whether it's illegal or not, I don't know. Lawyers would have to get involved in that. I think it probably is through copyright law,
Yes,
but it's gotten so messy now
Is
with
it?
people stealing stuff off the internet anyway,
Well-
that it's been going on long enough that it may actually have wandered into public domain because of that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Common use public domain kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know that it's. Yeah, I think, of course, Haley's the youngest of us here, and I think they're not Haley's generation, but maybe a little bit younger than Haley. They've kind of been raised with the internet, right? And there's a lot of them. And listen, I see them in my class all the time. Pete, you probably see it too when you're teaching. There's a lot of them think that if it's on the internet, it's free.
Right.
It's on the internet, it must be free. And of course, all of us know that's not the case. But I think there is that mentality of a whole generation of people coming up that it doesn't matter that you spent time to do it and you created it, you generated it. If it's on the internet, it's free for them to get. And of course, we all know that's wrong.
Well, comic books suffer from that, don't they? The sales suffer from people just put them online and people just reading them for free. That's a huge problem.
Yeah. So you're again all these all the free comic books that are online.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to like a free first issue, like a drug of sort. Here's the first one.
I'm okay with
The
that.
first one's free.
Here's a sample, little
That's
kid.
right. The first one's free, but not the rest of it, because then what are they going to buy?
Or even the first few pages of something. So here's the first few pages.
Yeah.
Go read it.
Yeah,
here's
something like that.
Up to the cliffhanger, and then up to a cliffhanger, and then let's say if this interests you, here's where you can buy the rest of it.
Right. Yeah.
I see nothing wrong with that, but people will rip that off even. But
absolutely. Yeah.
But you put it out there, so what the hell?
Yeah. Jim, I don't know the question that you're talking about. Show. Are you talking about our show, or are you talking about a different show? I missed part of that question. Vic says my generation have had the internet most of their lives. Yeah, and I think and I'm not saying that this is you, Vic, but I'm saying that a lot of people in your generation have the mentality that if it's on the internet, it's free. Sorry, everybody got quiet here. I'm sorry. So I got sure you can join us. Yeah, Pops, you can send him the link. Jim is going to join us.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of this. Pops, you might need to remind him that we've got ours is a PG-13 stream. So Jim probably knows, but he may not. I think where do we lost a little steam right there then, didn't we?
Yeah, because
Um,
you were trying to get somebody on board here, but
yeah, well, I was actually trying to run through the messages here. Have been kind of the chat
Have
has
been
been
going
real
off?
busy tonight. Yeah,
Well, yeah, this is
Yeah.
a big topic for
It
discussion
is.
all over the place,
Mhm.
and I think that people are getting a little too. It's too early in the game to be just to. I mean, you can get upset if you want, but it's a little early. The details haven't been ironed out with this yet. You know, how
Yeah.
much are people going to use it to steal other people's work, or is it going to end up being just a reference for something else?
Yeah.
I Google stuff all the time that I use for reference when I
Mhm.
draw it myself.
Yeah.
And I'll even put some images on the light box
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
and draw them that way. But
Right. Yeah. But that's something that you've kind of done. Hi, Jim.
well,
Welcome
and
to
I'll
Silver Sunday.
create collages from 3 or 4 different images to do that
But
kind of
you're
stuff.
using all the training and stuff, all you've learned over the 15 years of working, Rob.
Exactly.
And,
yeah.
Saying that this works for me and this what will work in this panel. You're not just saying you do it and then I'll take credit.
Yeah,
for
you're just pushing a button and letting it do it.
Yeah.
Do its own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Or entering in. You see, when I first heard about AI, one of the things that I thought is that I could take my comic script, feed it into the AI, and it would generate a comic. It doesn't quite work that way. Not yet. It might in the future, but
could.
it
Did you
doesn't
see
work
what
that
I
way
just
yet.
It's already
posted
started.
over on the private chat thing?
Yeah, is that an AI story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just typed in a thing says story about about one little boy with a stuffed dragon lost on a subway in New York.
A dragon?
Yeah.
I told you I'd draw that for
It's
you.
still figuring out. And it's come up with a really cool story. Where did it come up with this? This is so cool. I'm drawing this.
All right, Jim. So a lot of comments on there, and I didn't get to read them all. I apologize. And I was seeing them on Facebook.
worries,
But there's just so many coming through.
I figured I'd give you an ugly face to put an image to the
That
comments.
works. That
What
works.
with the ugly words?
So
Yeah.
So what did we not get to add? What did I not get to throw up that you wanted to add to the conversation?
Oh, no, nothing. You're all good. I think. Well, first you have to understand what true AGI is, and what we have now is not true AGI.
Okay, so you're saying
Artificial
AGI.
general intelligence.
What's the difference between AGI and
Artificial
AI?
general intelligence. Okay, an AGI in the artificial intelligence community is it's self-thinking. In other words, it would not need a human to write prompts.
Yeah,
Now that's
yeah.
where they're going, and that's what like OpenCog and open source and all these AI companies are headed, and
That's
they want
the
to use
long-term
these
goal.
algorithms hopefully to teach that artificial intelligence, because honestly something that advanced you want to be able to teach, and you don't want to be taught by like corrupt governments and bad people with bad intentions. So that's really the purpose of these algorithms, the underlying purpose. However, what got caught up in all of it was the art. And when these art algorithms were created, they initially used images from the internet. Now they used images from different comic book artists, different, a picture of a tomato.
For example.
What the algorithm does is it doesn't take that exact image and replicate it. It is trained to say, okay, ones and zeros. It's either, I want to create an image of a tomato. Is this a tomato or isn't it a tomato? And that's basically what they're doing with these algorithms, is they're training them to create images based on a set database. But yeah, a lot of art that was taken, illegally from the internet was used to train these. Now, there are some current AI engines that are using current artists that draw themselves, using their images to generate the basis for the teaching of these algorithms. But now it's just a little too late. I mean, it came out so fast, so suddenly. Is it
really did.
ethical?
It seems
Is
to me
it,
like
I'll leave all that up to everybody.
It seems
Go
to
ahead.
me like it was just a few months ago that I was looking at AI images and they were horrible. And then suddenly, we're getting stuff that I'm like, oh, that looks actually pretty good.
What is also a big factor of it is also quantum computing chips. That is a big area where like 4 different companies are on track to create these quantum chips. Most computer programs and things run on ones and zeros. It's either doing something or it's not doing something. That's the easiest way to break it down. A quantum chip can be 1 and 0 at the same time and use quantum physics properties, like even some really strange quantum physics properties. There are like 4, I think 4, maybe 5 in existence already. If you remember the big IBM computers in the big rooms before, computers became these things, they were in a big room. That's where we are with quantum chips, but they're on track to miniaturize these because they take a lot of computing power and you have to like keep them at a certain temperature. However, I think Intel is actually learning to generate these qubits, these pieces of information based on current technology. So that will allow these algorithms to even create things faster. Okay. And as that develops, eventually, you're going to see much more than just art will be your concern with artificial intelligence. And that's not fantasy. That is projected,
Yeah.
technology advancements don't happen like normal, A, B, C, D advancements. They happen much quicker, much faster,
Leaps and
and on
bounds.
different leaps and bounds. So, if an AI can suddenly figure out a way to, keep humans alive longer, uh, you know, outthink us, create materials that we don't currently have, and it figures out and does it at a quantum pace with quantum computing. You're talking about advancements. You're talking about Nobel Prize winning advancements every like 4 or 5 months, and that's being very conservative. The projection is looking really good, and there are a lot of people in this field. China's in it, we're in it. It's just where do you go from there, and who do you want training that artificial intelligence? So art,
Jim, you
yeah,
ever read you ever read Isaac Asimov's the robot novels?
iRobot, yeah, iRobot, yeah.
It's very good. It's
Just going to put it out there. I think Jim might be too intelligent for this. For this.
Oh, I watched
guys, come on, and he's speaking a lot of sense. And
no.
Did you see what Vic said there?
You look at trends.
Yeah, see.
I don't speak science. My bad.
You look at trends and you look to see where we're actually headed and what's actually being done. Like you're amazed with what you're seeing in art. Think about science and medical advancements being done like this, where it's outpacing and outthinking humans. So you want ethical people training these algorithms. You don't want unethical people and governments training them.
No doubt.
Because like it or not, it's coming, and it's coming hard.
So let's because algorithms don't matter to any of us here. Let's circle that back around to the art that's generated here in comics. So so that comic was done by, and I've heard this AI before. It's called
Midjourney.
Midjourney, yeah. Do you know anything about that one?
Mm-hmm.
So is that one the one that samples?
Yes, initially when its engine was built, yes, it was, and the owner of Midjourney even said that. But his you have to understand what he was doing wasn't to create art; it was to teach an algorithm. So the art was a byproduct. He wasn't out there doing this art thing to sell art. That's not, and that's where he'll escape out of any legal issues.
Yeah,
because that wasn't his intent. It was training. It's teaching. So, you can take an image and teach with an image, whether you're teaching a human or an algorithm. Well, that's really going to come to the law, and you might get
knowing copyright like I do. That opens it up for him to quote unquote get away with it, because there's a loophole in copyright where if you use something for teaching, you can walk. That opens a door for you that you can walk right through.
Yes.
So
right, exactly. And he may skate that way, but his intent was never really about selling art, and that's not what everybody else took it and ran with it and said, "Hey, I can start selling these prints. They look amazing." And except when it comes to fingers,
I feel there's some
AI
religious conversation we could roll down this path with intent, couldn't we?
Sure.
So the thing about it is, though, so regardless of the intent, right? And we're not even talking about the creator of the AI. We're talking about users of it that are making comics. should we as creators, is there any difference, say, between someone like me who does not draw, if I use it, or if, say, Haley uses it, who is an artist? Should there be any difference in looking at, oh, this is stuff that Roland made and this is something that Haley made? Haley's an artist, Roland is not. Should we as a community look at these as two different things? That's to everybody, by the way.
I can't speak for I can't speak for the entire community, but I could say that I'm an artist myself. And, if I were to take an AI image, generated image, I type in a bunch of words into a prompt, it generates an image, and I look at that image and it inspires me to go create something with my own two hands. And I start, drawing this picture, and it just gave me some images. That's really no different than me going on the internet and using a reference.
Or just going outside
at a John Buscema or J. Scott
like
Campbell
I was saying
or whoever.
Yeah.
For reference, right? You don't really see that difference. The problem is the AI does it faster, right? It can generate an image and an idea quicker, and that's
better and better.
And it's getting even better,
getting better.
And that's as it learns.
I think that in a year's time, we're going to have. I mean, we may be having this conversation all over again about comic art specifically, because, like I said, I know Pete's gonna throw me down a little bit.
Rubbish.
Comment about painted art. I just personally has never been a big fan of that. I know there are people who are, but
love Alex.
I think that we aren't far, just looking at this, from seeing AI that can generate art that looks like Pete's pencils.
Pen and ink.
I've seen some that looks like comic book. I can't reference it right now, but I have a friend who's an artist who is literally training his AI in his style, and he's worked for Image and he's worked for other companies.
I was gonna.
He's generating. It looks like black and white art.
Well, so let's talk about that for a second then.
Yeah.
So Rob, let's say Rob decides, you know what? I'm tired of drawing. I can't draw every single day. I've been drawing for 30-something years, right? So Rob takes all of his artwork that he's
my hand starts doing this,
or your hand starts doing that, and so you're not quite as steady. So you take all of your artwork that you've had over your entire career, and you get that scanned in or whatever, entered into the AI, and suddenly this is producing artwork on Rob's prompts, right? But artwork that looks like Rob drew it. Is that a wrong thing to do? Pete,
no.
You go first.
Yeah.
Is Rob selling it or someone else selling it?
I don't.
Well, let's say Rob would be doing like
I've scanned it in. It's my AI that I'm doing it with.
So let's say Rob would be doing it like
all
he
the
does.
artwork I've got references for, or that I've got pieces of, and I feed it all into this AI. I've taught it what kind of things I do, and then I prompt it to take all that it knows and create new artwork to a certain story or whatever. I think that's okay.
So Pete, why do you think it's wrong?
You're not making any art anymore. I don't.
Yes, I am. Yes, no. It's no different. It's no different than me taking Photoshop or some other tool like that and creating artwork with it. It's just a new tool. It's just going from here. It's going from here straight to the paper instead of going through these.
Wow, I wouldn't do it.
But
I don't see what fun there is.
Don't do it. I mean, I have no desire
I guess
to do it either, but I'm thinking,
right?
Could I and should I?
Well, and that's
if you had a story to tell and you could no longer tell it through your hands.
And let's say this, Pete, what happens if God forbid, but let's say next year you do get a little shake in your hand, and your hand is not steady. You will not have lost. We assume so. You won't have lost the inner desire to make comics, right?
No.
But your ability to do so might not be quite there. Would that be wrong of you then to take your artwork and scan it in and generate based on kind of the things that you said, your prompts, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's not your art. It's the computer doing it. The computer is going to have its own input. If it's artificially intelligent, it's going to do its own.
Again, it's from here to the computer. So
but it's not. The computer is interpreting what you're putting in to make its own thing. It's not yours.
An algorithm is right now, yes.
Yeah.
It's not like an
It
artificial
takes that
intelligence is
and it will
actually
sample
thinking
it,
it out.
and it
Yeah.
won't be yours.
Yeah.
It'll be the computer.
I, for one, will train my left hand like Frank Frazetta and start with my left hand. Okay, before I use AR art. So-
I think you should all. I saw a TikTok here about a couple weeks ago of some. I forget. She was some Asian girl who was drawing with her foot. She didn't have any.
Oh,
She
yeah.
didn't have any. She didn't have any hands. Right. So she
Well.
literally put her pencil, her brush in between her toes and was drawing with her feet. I think you guys all should learn that.
I agree.
Then we can.
I'm going to be
Well,
back in about.
it
I'm
looks
going to be
good
back in about 10
ambidextrous
years.
and with both feet, so we can do 4 pages at once, right?
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's a great thought there, Rob. I type with both of my hands. Why can't you artists draw with both of yours?
I do.
Oh,
I spin the page with this one.
That's
Yeah, yeah. This is for Control Z and
Right.
I either spin the original art,
This is why I took up
that I work
sculpting.
on, or I do it in the
Yeah.
computer with this hand while I'm drawing with the other. So yeah,
Doc
I use both hands
says-
already.
Would that be like going from playing an instrument to writing music, and having a computer perform it? Ooh, that's pretty good because a
There's
lot
already
of
one that
That's
does
a
I
good
think that's
analogy.
already happened.
yeah, that's already happening.
Yeah.
Bob says, "I
there's
love
one
this.
that's even-
Networking is awesome. Thanks, Roland Jim. Love when we can all go outside our comfort zones." Wait, Rob, would that violate copyright or would that violate copyright? Is you do that
If
with
you
your,
do that with your Star
if you
Trek
do that with
table.
your Star Trek.
Yeah, because he's typed. He hit
Yeah.
S instead of F.
Yeah.
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 yeah, because
Short
it's Star
answer,
Trek.
yes.
Yeah, because it's Star Trek.
If
yours.
I publish it, if I try to publish it now, if I do it for personal,
Yeah, for your own
for
fun.
myself,
yeah.
but if I publish it and try and publish it under the name Star Trek, or even I mean I could change names and change uniforms, but and do something similar like Galaxy
Just call it
Quest or
Star Walk.
or Orville or something like that.
Orville.
Yeah.
And then and I could do it that way as long as I stayed away from the things that make Star Trek and Star Wars. I can do that. I could use the storytelling that I had done and the image creation that I did then, and create something new with it. But yeah, if I did lose the ability to draw, but I still had the ideas,
Right.
I might consider going with a new tool that, like I said, takes it from here and puts it on the page.
Yeah, because I don't think
if that's going through an algorithm, but it still starts here, but it ends up, it goes through a tool and comes out on the page. That's the way I'm seeing this, at least at this point.
I think you're not going to lose your desire.
Right.
That comes from within.
Mhm.
Doc says the first time an art AI calls me Dave, I'm unplugging it though. Just saying.
I'm sorry, Dave. I can't.
Everyone's dead, though.
Sorry, Dave. Put your pencil down, Dave. I've got this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's not what
here's
you
a-
mean,
here's
Dave.
a-
I'll draw what I want.
Here's a fun but yet scary little doodad. So I said, okay, AI images are being created, and they're being created rapidly, right? And now they're being created so that they're starting to look very similar. So what's to stop someone from training the AI to now start teaching it to recreate the same image over and over again, and with consistency, and then teach it to do it at slightly different angles, right? And then teach it what's correct and what's not correct, and continue to do that until eventually what you have is an image created in a 360 degree aspect, multiple images that look similar, that now you can train an AI sculpting, that now you're doing 3D sculpture. So now you have, and I forget what the technology is, like scanning, except you're using pictures. You're taking a lot of pictures of a sculpture to get a 3D image of it. And sure enough, within like 2 or 3 weeks, here comes AI developers are now doing AI sculpture created by AI. And it's again, it's how much do you want to fight the machine?
Yeah.
AI art doesn't have soul. it doesn't have a human soul. It has a human thinking about things, but it doesn't have soul. It's not created with a human's two hands. And if you like that sort of thing, hey, go for it. Everybody's a consumer how they want to be a consumer, but there'll never be a replacement for a traditional artist. There never will be. There will
No.
always be people who love traditional art that's created traditionally. So it's not like artists don't have assets that they can use, and will there be loss of jobs in some degrees? I'm sure some companies that want to profit, but the AI art isn't at the stage now where they can put out something that people are going to go, ooh, there's the next big Mark Silvestri book, let me go pick
No.
that up. It's not
Not
at that
yet.
level, not yet.
Yeah.
Could it be? Yeah, sure, but ultimately
Yeah.
artists are creatures of love and passion, and
Yeah.
we do things with our hands through love and passion, and
Mhm.
that can't be replaced by AI or algorithms. It
Yeah.
just can't.
Yeah.
There will always be that something that's just not right, and I think it's really up to the consumer as to what they want to, where they want to put
Yeah.
their money,
That's
and it's up
really
to
going to
us
be
to
what
determine
matters at
how
all.
much you want to
It's where
fight it.
people put their dollars.
Yeah.
Sure,
We
I
can
mean
complain. We can
that's
complain
what it
about
comes
stuff
down
all
to.
we want,
I
but
mean,
if people
at this
buy it,
point, all we can do is throw our wooden shoes into the machinery.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Gum it
Well,
up.
it's
pretty much.
funny because
Yep,
people
gum it up a
will
little bit.
complain about something like Marvel and DC frequently, and yet they still buy. It's like you see someone complaining, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the latest issue of Spider-Man you're holding in your hands. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
complaining, and
Yeah.
yet you're feeding the machine. So it is what
I
it
mean,
is, right?
it,
Uh,
it is.
our clock is we have run out of time, and it always happens on Sunday when we're having a good time. Anybody any final short thoughts about AI and where we are? We might revisit this again in a year and see
I
what
don't
kind of
think it's going to
changes.
take a year. I think it'll be
I
a couple
don't
of
either.
Yeah, I think
I don't either. It's not going
no,
to take long at all. It keeps
Nope.
getting better and better.
Well,
And
6 months then.
yeah.
I don't think it's
It
going to
depends
take
on
that.
how the AI
we'll talk about
balls
it
roll,
Wednesday on
you know?
Wednesday.
Right,
Wham.
Wednesday wham.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're all out of business by Wednesday.
I just want to say thank you all for having me out. I have to run. I got to grab dinner.
Absolutely.
No,
Jim, where can
thanks for
folks find
dropping
you
in.
on the
The
internet? Yeah.
outside voice is
I appreciate you.
definitely
I just
useful.
yeah.
Thanks
Lot
for
easier
joining
than
us.
typing.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good one.
Bye.
Thank you. You as well. Any last thoughts, comments, concerns, desires?
Yeah, I think
I
it's
want them
early
from-
days, and we don't know where this is going to go yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it might be like the pet rock. It'll be popular for a little while, but then people will go, yeah, it's just a computer. It's like they used to have monkey straw paintings, and those those were popular for a while. Those
Yeah.
sold well, and now
Mm.
you hear about monkeys doing paintings these days. No,
No, because giraffes are doing it now.
yeah, exactly, or elephants, or yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think it'll be a
Dave.
fad, and it'll move on.
Yeah. Haley, what about you? What final thoughts?
Yeah, I hope. It's making me think of like I wonder what people were thinking when like photography was invented. They were
Yeah.
like, oh no, now people aren't going to buy paintings anymore, and that
Mhm.
people didn't get their portraits paint. I mean, I guess people still do sometimes. People it's like it's so easy to just take a picture, but people do still want art made by, and not the photographers aren't artists, but made like by a drawing or painting, like a different kind of art.
Yeah, there's doing a portrait painting is different from taking a photograph.
Mhm.
You're also trying to bring something of the essence of the person into the art as well. If you're a good portrait artist anyway.
Right.
That's what you try to do.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be kind of like that.
It could be. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully people will
Yeah,
be able
it's-
to tell the difference, like
it's early
consumers,
days.
and be like,
It's
okay,
early
I want something that has like a human soul behind it.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Tommy, final thoughts?
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
No, I was just thinking, what if you? I say I don't want to get. I don't want because everybody listens, right? What if you were to like take all of everything that I've inked, right, and scan it in, regardless of who the penciler was, but just take everything that I've inked, and then all of a sudden I take Peter's pencils and I use these
AI
AI
like
things,
Tommy.
and then I pointed at my folder that has the way that I ink, and then all of a sudden, 5 seconds later, boom, pops out a page that looks just like I inked it.
Yeah.
It's scary, isn't it?
It's
because right now,
as
as inkers go, publishers are basically trying to get rid of inkers to start off with.
They already are
by making the penciler, and you got folks like Pete that doesn't actually pencil inked, but some folks, some pencilers are inking or penciling.
They don't know how.
Inked.
I think we're coming
That's
up with
true.
a generation of young artists that really don't know how to pencil.
There's things there's something to inking, regardless of you tracers out there. Like Roland always said,
the best inkers bring something to they add something to it.
But I was just thinking, golly, just thinking, God, it's starting to get a little
scary.
I don't want to talk about it.
I think
Can
it's
we
just
do another subject?
Well, we're gonna end. Rob, final thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Well, mine was that I think it's like the pet rock. It's going to come and go, and there'll be. But I think Haley's got a great point. It's kind of like photography and the fact that it's a new technology that's come along and may enable some people to do what we do now easier, but it won't replace. It'll sit alongside what we do rather than replace what we do.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll replace us, but I think it will. The people that don't have a whole lot of skill at this job are going to get pushed out. I mean, that's going to happen. But those of us who've been at it for a while, or have a skill that can't be replicated with AI, at least for now, we'll still be here.
Adding on to that, I think the people, as of now, right now, I think the people to be worried about are those random novel artists that are creating, just for your random book or whatever that's got.
I think it's going to be big.
Those are like boom. Those instantly are getting rid of those jobs by just. Yeah.
That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let I'll let Pete have the last word. So
I'll see what Pete's gonna say. It's all rubbish. It's rubbish.
I'm gonna let Pete have the last word. Hold on. So my thinking is this: is that I don't know really kind of where as one who doesn't have the ability to art like you guys do. I'm not sure exactly where I stand on it, because I think sometimes I think, it'd be a whole lot easier if I could just
just get rid of us.
Get rid of the middleman.
But you guys, I mean, you guys have known me long enough to know of some of the struggles I have had with different books and getting artists to even stick with the project, right?
Yeah.
And so there are sometimes I think,
not just Silverline books. Your whole
no. This is going back to my 30-year career, right? And so it'd be a whole lot easier if I could just feed this into an AI, and even if it took the AI 2 weeks to do it, it'd be okay. I don't like the idea
to the AI chat thing and saying, look, I need a story about a redheaded lady that works at a bar, and now I got rid of Roland's job. Yeah.
No, well, you're right, and I think that's coming. Are we running over time, Pops? We gotta go.
No.
Okay.
You struck my nerve. You said, I, not being an artist, being a consumer,
I know.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. I am very strong how I feel about it. I promote people like you.
Yeah.
I don't promote machines.
That's true.
I promote the work you guys do. And if somebody sold me something and I found out afterwards that they didn't do it, I'd be hot. To me, that's counterfeit.
Yeah.
Okay. To me, that's counterfeit.
But like this graphic novel we showed up here, though, I forget what the guy's name was.
Just because he's a really good describer of what the panel should look like.
So he wrote it. So we're going to assume he wrote it, right? So he wrote it. So it's still his. It's just that the art is computer generated, right? So
it's a
magic.
tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool.
So I can see from it's still his story. We assume
so he can write a book. What does he need to? What is he? You see what I'm saying? It's like now you've crossed over into where I might want to buy this if it was if it's a legit story in a book,
Yeah.
I might want to buy it and read it. But
Yeah.
if you're selling it to me as a fake art comic book, you lost me.
The
You see what
only
I'm saying?
the only thing I would say about that, and you guys know this is kind of the day and age we live in, is that it's sometimes easier to sell a Hollywood property if you've got images to go and show them what it looks like.
Yeah.
So my guess would be this Colson person, I forget the name, is interested in selling this stuff to Hollywood, and so he just needs to get it out there, and that Hollywood can see what it looks like.
One guy. It's like I said, this company that I know that you're talking about, I've seen a lot of.
Campfire.
We're getting a lot of AI
Yeah.
books that are
And they're not all free. If you go look back,
No, they're not free. Yeah,
they're
no,
charging for some of that.
not a
Yeah.
ton, but they're
yeah. Some of these are.
and right now they don't, panel to panel stuff is just terrible because there's nothing looks for.
Yeah, it doesn't have the flow.
No.
I would
It
imagine
doesn't
that's
have the flow that an artist would get it, or where
Right.
an editor would come in and say, "Hey, you need to piece this together better with a
Right.
couple different
And this-
panels or something." You don't get that, but you
No.
also don't get the
especially with the free AI generators now. I mean, there's some that you can pay for that you can streamline it a lot more and make it look a little better. But the free ones that are everybody that's available on your phone. I mean, how many
Really?
times did you get an ad pop up on your phone for those things?
See, I haven't
This,
gotten any.
this, this is what I say when Roland said, "Let's come at it as from the fan point of view." That's when I can voice my opinion. I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
I'm not a writer. Okay.
Yeah.
But as a fan, I don't want to be sold something that didn't come from the people I thought it came from, or didn't come from the heart and soul that I
Again,
was
yeah.
backing.
It's early days. I think there will be an audience for some of it out there. Is it going to be a big audience? Is it going to be a small audience?
Yeah.
I suspect it'll be a small audience.
I look at
I think
AI.
people are going to be
They're
more
going to
like
be
you
like
are.
us. They're
I
not
mean,
going to. They want something real. They
I
don't
mean, one
want-
argument might be if you look at Hollywood, a lot of the stuff that the monsters now, that's all AI generated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but then somebody actually came up with the models.
Well, there are artists creating.
Oh yeah, could they be? Yeah, you're right. There's a fake
There are
too.
artists
It's all
creating
fake. Right
the
now, I'm fake too.
skeleton of those creatures.
I guess what the deal is that I know so many people that draw panel after panel after panel after panel to give us a comic book. And then I see somebody that wants to shortcut. Look, do you want somebody shortcutting on your roof?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Shortcutting ain't good. Not in any instance ever in history has been going for the shortcuts good.
Tommy
for
shortcuts are
manufacturers
notoriously
to
bad.
business.
Oh, don't talk about the biking. You got to bring up mountain biking.
All right, let's see.
We didn't talk about
Vic
it.
says Roland isn't going to deal with me for long if I get the silver line. And then he says, from a fan point of view, the soul of a comic is the meat on it. Yeah.
That's it.
And I would agree with that.
That's it. I can't promote
Yeah, so
it. I got too many people with skin in the game. I can't promote it.
yeah. And so my other final thought is that kind of like Rob, I'm not sure where this is going to go. Right now, I haven't really seen anything that makes me say, "Oh, I want to throw money at that." I've seen the couple of those images from that book that shall not be named again. They look kind of good if you think of them as the sequential stuff. I'm like, I got some issues here.
If
right?
you didn't know it was AI,
You would just think that it
you'd
was
be looking at that thinking, God, that's pretty fucking good.
a real stiff drawing. Yeah.
That would be my thought would have been, well, it's kind of the artist is talented, is what I would think. It was a good artist.
He sure knows
but-
how to paint. That's what
He
you
sure knows how to paint, but the camera angles are all bad, and this is a boring story.
It was boring. It was
That was
boring
one of the first
storytelling.
things I said.
They're
was,
mostly
like,
boring.
the angles are all jacked.
Yeah.
They're all jacked. But one thing I would say, and I would bring up this analogy: do you guys like CGI movies over live action stunts and real movies?
Well, I like animation, so I'm not sure that's fair.
No,
That's
I
not
mean,
real.
Seriously, I mean,
You mean
seriously.
like a
Did
Pixar
you
movie?
Like seeing
Well,
the guy do the
depends
fire
on-
stunt, or do you like seeing
Yeah.
the fake
Welcome to
CGI?
Pop. There
was
goes our
sold-
PG-13 rating.
The
Yeah.
question is, what is it sold to me as? Is
My
it sold to me as animation? is it sold to me as animation or is
Right.
it sold to me as live action?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's actually CGI.
This,
You know.
that's what
Travis
I'm
is
Are
trying to-
you saying, do I like Pixar movies? Yeah, I love Pixar.
Oh, yeah.
movies.
You
I
gotta
gotta
go,
go,
Pete.
guys.
I was gonna give you the final word.
All right,
but,
Pete's got to say
okay.
something.
Final word. Yeah. So people who make AI art, they're not in it
Rubbish.
for the art.
Nope,
They're in
rubbish.
it just to get famous. They want to be the next reality TV star. It's it won't last.
What do you? What
The
if they're
AI
using?
programs will continue to learn,
Yeah.
but I don't
What
see
if-
what fun is there in just typing in a few words and saying, "Look what I made." You're
What
gonna
if
get
they're
bored of
using
doing that.
the computer's name? Is that, do you still think that's them trying to be famous?
Yeah, people are going, "Look what I made! Look what I made! Look what I made!" You didn't make anything. You just want to be recognised. You want people to go, "Oh, you're amazing."
Well, they're not
There
amazing.
is a
What
bit-
they
No,
did,
No, they're
is
not amazing.
but
so.
they didn't do it.
But Pete,
So, yeah.
you are amazing, sir.
Well,
Yeah.
I've often
Amazingly
said it.
something.
I've often said it. So get back to the drawing board, Pete.
Yeah, we're working.
Back to work. Yeah.
Oh, looking good. Looking good.
I do
I've scanned in small
apologize,
pages this
Roland.
week so Tommy can start inking if he wants to do any work.
I do apologize, Roland. When I'm passionate, sometimes my filter falls off.
Passion is good. We like passion here.
It's all
I
right.
gotta
It went by
go.
quick.
I gotta go.
Thank
Baby
you.
cry.
Thanks, Pete.
Later
Good to
on,
see you,
Mr.
buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Pops.
Yeah.
Catch you later.
Later.
But you know, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Let you finish your show. I just
All right.
you see, you came
Hey.
at it from the fan point of view, and that's where I live.
Appreciate it.
You know,
This guy that creates stuff for fans appreciates it. Thank you.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're gonna pop Travis up here. He's got the last. He's trying to cause some problems here.
Oh,
We're gonna pop him up. Travis says, "I only create AI art now. I fired everyone. I have always been wanting to add more fingers to my art, and finally, I have an easy way to do it."
That's right.
Of course, Travis is gonna come in here and say this, right? Thanks for popping in, Travis. We appreciate you, man.
Oh man.
For those of you who don't recognize his name, Travis is 16 minutes. Yeah. Travis makes his own comic books, and I do not think he uses AI art. So, all right, guys, we are, as Vic said, we are now 17 minutes over time, and so we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for stopping by. Don't forget to go to our Kickstarter here. We are still sitting at 39.51, so nobody pledged in the minutes that we were on here tonight. So if you haven't pledged, go pledge. And until then, hold on, I gotta find all my buttons. I don't want to remove me. Okay. Until then, remember to Tommy's already left. Where'd Tommy go?
Yeah.
Remember to make mine Silverline. Good night, everybody. Streaming.
I'm April Hunter. Make mine Silverline.
All right.